across various sectors. She has made significant contributions in driving efficiency in custom brokerage and logistic management. As the CEO of Gobe Energy and Logistics, a subsidiary of Dot Global Group, where she also oversees the operations, Mrs. Ruth has initiatives that enhance quality service delivery. Her leadership has positioned her as a role model in the industry. Beyond professional achievements, Mrs. Ruth is passionate about standardization and representation of women in the freight and forwarding and custom brokerage services. And the last but not least, through industry collaboration, she inspired and empowered young professionals to excel in the various fields. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy again, please, let's welcome Mrs. Ruth Chukwukezirim. Ladies and gentlemen, keep clapping until she gets here. Make sure you write something down. And this section is going to take us for 15 minutes. And our teacher, please, I beg of you, you need to ask questions before the students. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Wow.
Good morning, students. All right, my name is Mrs. Ruth Chukwukezirim, and I am excited and happy to be here. And I'm also excited, most especially, to see that we have a lot of girl child here. Please put your hands together for yourself. So, Mr. Ogadi had done justice to the topic of supply chain and logistics, and of course my sister has also delved into, so I'm not going to waste time. I guess I'll have some change in the 15 minutes. So I have been in the industry for a while, so I'll just go very fast. Supply chain and logistics, like Mrs. Temi said, cuts across everything you're going to do. So it is all across every industry. Supply chain and logistics is needed in every industry, including how you got here. I'm sure when they gave the invite, the first thing is, how are we going to come? And maybe some will come by boat, some might have come by road, some might have even trekked if it's close by, and some will come by bus. So you see, logistics is just everywhere in every sector. So, but it is, the question I'm here to answer is it the right space for the girl child? We're going to find the answers ourselves. I'm not going to give you the answer. By the time I'm done, we will decide together if there's a space for girl child in logistics. So this is just a very brief one. Everything here, if you're like me that learns by pictures, I'm sure this picture Mr. Gadi painted here won't leave you in a hurry, right? This was fantastic. Like, it gave you what our business is. And for me, as a facilitator, it also made me see the amazing work we do. What we do is so much, but you know, when you're used to doing it, you think it just looks very easy, but we have to cross this and even more to send just that bottle of Chivita. I mean, it was an amazing picture. Please, can we put our hands together for Mr. Gadi? So everything that happens in supply chain needs logistics to power. Logistics is like the engine room of supply chain, moving everything. How do we coordinate to ensure that all these agencies, that everything move together to ensure that our pack of Chivita that has moved from Chivita to cargo leaves our shore to London. So that's what logistics does. And then this is about my very critical slide. I told you I was going to be very fast. Requirement to be successful in logistics and supply chain. You must be thinking like a problem solver. These are just some of the skills, problem solving skills. You must be good in communication, multitasking. You must be have leadership, strategic thinking. Ms. Temi had already talked about technology. Of course, you all know how to use technology because you're more techy than us. And data analysis, you should also have a bit of physical strength. So these are some requirements. Now, I'd like to ask everyone in this room, is there anyone that can solve a problem? Is there anyone that can solve a problem? Please answer me now. Is there anybody that can solve a problem?
No.
Okay. You're in what class? SS2. It means that they set exams for you in JS1, right? You passed, you went to JS2. You know that's problem solving, right? And when they give you tests, that's problem solving. So it means you have a skill to solve problem, right? If you're hungry and you come into the house and there is meat and there is oil, there's rice and there's a few other things, and you say, I'm so hungry, let me cook. You have just solved what problem? You have solved hunger problems. So it means that we all have problem solving skills, right? So we can all solve problems. So these are just some of the critical skills that you need, and of course passion to work in supply chain. So I'll just share my brief story. So I read economics, first degree, I did MBA, and then did MSc in logistics and transport. And then I went into, while I was waiting for youth service, one of my aunties said, instead of just sitting at home, you've done, then in our time, we didn't have access to phone like this, but we were going to computer schools. It was a big deal in my time. You go and learn how to use computer. This thing that you were now born into, I don't know how you do it, but once you get birth to you, they already know how to operate the computer. You know, so I had just gone to a computer school. I had learned Excel, Word, and a few other things. What next? It's okay. There's a firm that does custom clearing. You might want to go work with them until your youth service is over. While we were doing that, it was now service. And then, luckily, I got to serve in that state where I was supposed to go to work with that man. So when they posted me to my school where I was going to serve, I went to meet our zonal coordinator to say, please, can I make a change? I already have in mind where I wanted to serve. They said, really? Oh, we are looking for more spaces. So they deployed me to that place. That was how my journey started. But you see, I really do not believe in coincidence. I believe that things were already ordained divinely for all of us. Do you know why I said so? In my university, my favorite course was international trade. That was my favorite. I can still remember my lecturer, how he taught everything he taught. And remember, everything about supply chain is about trading, global trading. So it was my favorite course in the university. And then here I landed in a company that was really practicing global trade, which was a custom brokerage that they had, like you were told. So I started seeing some of the things I was taught about. Countries that have, let's say that we can produce gari in large quantity. And then people have, of course, jackpot to London. And they want gari. How do they get gari there? Who ensures that this gari gets there? That's exactly the picture Mr. Ogadi painted for us. And then I saw how, from the warehouse, we moved this gari to the store, to the port. All the processes, all the agencies that happen, I saw everything I was taught in school. And guess what? I was excited. I was living exactly what I wanted to do. And I plugged into it. I moved from working in a clearing firm. I moved into a shipping company. We had over 20 vessels. They were not very big ships like the one my sister has managed. Those ones were service boats. What are the service boats? If you remember in the slides Mr. Ogadi showed you, he showed you that some of the things we also do in maritime logistics is shipping, ship engineering, handling some things offshore. So those vessels that we managed, what they were doing was to carry equipment offshore to deliver, carry food, carry people that are working at the rig. So we had like 20 of them, and I was in managing them. How do they go offshore? How do they come? When they buy them from Europe, how do they get in here? The documentation is documentation is a different thing altogether. It was just a lot of work. So that was how I now delved into that one again. And from there, I went into managing import and export of a company that was into fertilizer manufacturing. They were distributing locally and also exporting out of Nigeria. I managed how the vessels were coming, how they were going, movement of all the products that were leaving the shores of Nigeria, and also the importation of the raw materials. That was how my journey in the industry was. Now, what are the challenges? Like my sister told you, the first thing is, you're a girl. Can you do it? But you can't do it now. And men are here. What are you doing here? But there's something my father used to tell me, which I would tell not just the girl child, every student here. My father used to tell me something. He would say, Ruth, my daughter, I will say it in Igbo and I will say it in English. That means that the day a boy child was born was the day a girl child was born. That means that life offers you opportunities. It is what you grab that becomes. Is there any girl that has taken first position in your class before? In your schools, has girls taken first positions before? Has boys taken first positions before? Okay, that means that it is the same teacher teaching all of you, right? But someone step probably does a little more than the rest and they take first. Is it reserved for any gender? Is first position reserved for any gender? Is the best in any subject reserved for any gender? Okay, so that means that opportunity is open to everyone. It is the same thing in our industry. So what are some things I have done? I have been in the office till 2 a.m. Well, why was I in the office? So we had quarterly review where my every male, of course, I've always worked in a department where I'm the only girl in the department until I moved to start running my own company. And then when they left for that review, it was a bit of a wrong timing because we had a vessel that was coming in to pick ammonia. And then every time the vessel stays in Nigeria, the company will pay $50,000. Please, can you check what $15,000, 50,000 times 1,005 is in your calculator if you have? That was going to be a lot of money. And we needed to do, you see all this documentation and much more. We needed to work with all those agencies to ensure that it finishes. I stayed back in the office and finished that documentation. Now, someone said they were going to be an engineer or something. For the engineer or marine surveyors, they are the one that will tell us when the water is favorable for the vessel to sail. For us, they have told us it's in the next 2 days that we'll have favorable vessel if we miss that early morning. So I had to stay in the office, finish documentation, put everything on board the vessel to enable the ship to sail. And by the time my company came, I had saved the company $100,000 that would have lost for those 2 days. So I've just shared with you how I started, the challenges, my success stories. And now, I also like to let you know that you can do it. Thank God for this organization, Ocean Ambassadors, that has made amazing opportunities. You're hearing it on time. We didn't hear it as early as you're hearing it. So, beyond all that I have told you, I want you to also see me at work so that you remember that it's for everyone. Thank you. This is myself on a ship, although it's a cruise ship, and that's one of the crew on board that vessel. And then here I was in a meeting. There was something custom was global trade was introducing, and we sat in that meeting to put up those documents together with custom officers, World Custom Organization representative, and then some other organization from South Africa and myself. Now, remember we talked about problem solving. And in the midst of the men, I was also there. We all sat together solving problem. And this lady, she's among the crew on board the vessel. So it's not a gender business. It's about your interest, your skill, your passion, opportunity, and leadership, ability to do. So now, back to our question. Is supply chain and logistics a girl-child career? So I have shown you a bit of pictures and I have shared my journey with you, and I'd like to ask, what do you think? Do you think there's a space for the girl child in logistics and supply chain? Let me hear you clearly now. Do you think there is a space for the girl child in logistics and supply chain? Yes, I join you and I say yes, there is a space for the girl child. So I tell you, you are the girl who will lead global logistics and supply chain. Nobody should tell you less. If you dream to own a ship or to be on board any vessel, you can. If you dream to be the ones that will own the biggest terminals, you can, because tomorrow we are going to step aside for you to take over. So I tell you, from your school to sea and to the global stage. Thank you very much. Oops. So let me take your questions, please.
Now, for the question.
Yes, please.
The Thank you. Um, when the facilitators they spoke, they had their different careers as in what they studied in school. I just want to ask, is there any like lineup of subjects that they have to, or they just randomly enter into the profession? Maybe I mean in school. Is there any lineup of subjects that they should offer
Okay.
to go into this thing? And what is their requirement if they're going to go from here, like after secondary school, and they want to go into maritime? I just want to know.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like we had earlier said that our industry cuts across everywhere. But you see, for those that are going into, I know that some will end up in sciences. Of course, marine engineers, those ones are more like science inclined. But the truth is, whatever courses you come out with, of course, I'm sure that every university requirement now, you need English and maths. So outside that, other subjects will be the social sciences, the sciences, any combination you have. Now, if you get into university, a lot of universities are beginning to have logistics and supply chain department, school of transport, like LASU. They have school of logistics and transport. I think Unilag have maritime school. Then we have the maritime academy in Oron and some other ones. But whatever subject you study, we've also seen people that study some courses, and when they come out of school, they change. But it will also be better now that you're hearing it, and you think you're beginning to see where you have your interest. If you start on time, probably sit your guidance and counseling, and then you meet a mentor, you say, "Excuse me, Mrs. Williams, now that I want to focus on this, what do you think I should do?" So you might want to start on time instead of just when you graduate from school. So what I would do for you is that from university level, you're already looking for where you're doing your industrial training or your volunteering jobs, so that it becomes an added advantage. I like volunteering. So that gives you an added advantage. Anywhere you go globally, volunteering job is a big deal. So if you volunteer to do stuff in our industry, it gives you an edge. So I think if you narrow down what you're going to do right now, you focus those courses that will lead you into that direction. Please, did I answer you well, ma'am? All right, thank you.
All right, we have another question.
Yes, please.
Is it on? Morning, ma. It's not on.
I'm sure I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Morning, ma.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask your the former speaker spoke about she branching into tech for process efficiencies in the.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
The former speaker spoke about she branching into tech for process efficiency in the.
Sheep branching.
She branched into tech.
Okay.
She said she branched into tech because she realized that there were some processes that could be better through tech. And we know that we are in the tech era now. So can you tell us some of these processes that need efficiencies where the girl child can, come in as a tech person or something like that? Because we're in the tech era now. So what are the careers as a tech person? Probably a data analyst, an IT support technician, or app development and dev development that can help the maritime industry become better.
All right, thank you very much. Because of the multiplicity of contracts and agencies involved in our business, it is document-laden. There's so much documentation. Now, over time, like my sister have said, there have been a lot of streamlining with technology to ensure that we reduce this documentation. Initially, when I started work, when a ship is arriving, the manifest used to be as bulky as this. And you know what? To be flipping the pages to check where our consignee is on that manifest. Now, where can the girl child come in? Someone has sat down and said, how do we transcribe transfer this bulky document into something that will become very easy and more efficient. Now, those things are transmitted online. We don't see those bulky manifest again, probably except in the back office, but we don't see them again. You go online, you get everything you want. So that's where the girl child can operate. There's also something called National Single Window that the federal government is also designing. That national single window is to ensure that these multiple agencies you see, there are some that were not really here, there are more than this if you're going to work on a cargo. To ensure that these people all sit in one online server, the freight forwarder can interface with these agencies without having to run to their offices like we do right now. So that's another opportunity for the girl child. World Customs Organization is working, there's a lot of interfaces to ensure that this happens. And then there's also one, even in Customs Service, Nigerian Ports Authority, all these agencies, there's a unification. So there's an enormous opportunity for the girl child when it comes to Internet of Things in the maritime sector, supply chain and logistics.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, my question is, to venture into maritime, do you really have to know anybody? Then secondly, are there vacancies available for any prospective students?
Okay, thank you very much. What you need first is interest and passion. The very first thing you need, interest and passion. And one thing I believe is that when you have a will, it might only take a little time, there will be a way for you. I've had to knock doors that I didn't know anyone, but I just had to be knocking. And some will open, the truth is some also will not also open. And then when you talk of vacancies, I don't know if it has occurred to you, sir and ma, there are sometimes you see vacancies and you're looking for who fits into this and you can't remember.
Yeah, a lot of times.
And I'm thinking, I know someone that can fit into this. Where are they? Where are they? Now, the issue of visibility is very important. Visibility in whatever capacity you are, it should be very important. Again, my students, listen, when you go back to your school, some of you are very good in some things. And when they call you, say, me, I don't want to do this. It's just leave me alone. It's every time they be calling me. Yes, it's every time they will call you. You know why? You're a golden fish, you cannot be hidden. You're a city set on a hill, you cannot be hidden. So whatever you have as a skill, let the world know that you have that skill. What will happen someday? So when they remember that they need this for a particular thing, you will become who crosses their mind. That's how some of the opportunities come. If it's in the maritime sector, is there space? Yes. Sometimes I have cargoes that are going to up country and I'm looking for haulage companies. I'm even looking for someone that can link me to haulage companies to go up countries, and I'm losing 5 days and I'm sending no thanks to them. I'm giving them the money. All right.
Thank you, ma'am. My question is, because of the peculiarity of our terrain as Nigerians, just I have to thank the other previous resource persons that are taking us through. I want to know, with these bottlenecks we have in the ports, and we have containers, stay a couple of days for just no reason. And since we are embracing tech, and we know that the influx of an average Nigerian into tech, and what is the maritime space doing to have an handshake with the tech industry so that to fast track this wasting of time and money, when you have to get your stuff out of the port is a tug of war. So what is the maritime industry doing so that there will be an handshake between this tech industry so that you can facilitate this thing as fast as possible so we won't be losing money and time?
Okay, thank you very much. When your cargo is at the port, there's a reason why it's not cleared as fast as possible. There are just so many reasons. Let me break a few of them. So when your cargo arrives, before your cargo arrives to the port, the very first thing is that you must have done couples and series of documentation in preparation for cargo arrival. So if you don't have those documentation in place, that's already your first bottleneck. And in case you've done this bottleneck, there are just some other things. Probably some agencies are not satisfied with your documentation, and you go back to ensure that these documents are okay. But documentation is a major issue. Now, there have been also layers and processes to ensure that this thing, the handshake is a long journey, but I can assure you that we have gone a long way. Because before now, it was far worse than this. But we've progressed a bit, and thank God my sister is also, having been in the field is very easier for her than someone that is just designing a template that have not been in the pod. So she has sat with the problems and she has seen where the gaps are, and we are excited with what she's actually coming out with. So there is a lot of opportunities for technology, and even from the government, and the government is also working on a lot of things, because every time we sit in meetings, we are giving back feedback of what the issues are. It might take a long time, but if we look back where we're coming from, there's actually been some improvements. All right?
Then we for the students now.
Okay.
Any question from you? Ask question.
Please, students, ask me
Okay,
questions.
I have somebody two together.
All right. Thank you for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
We all came with students to this place, and with all these terminologies you'll be using, I know it will be confusing to them. What we want to hear is, what is my take here? How do I come in? Even if some of them are interested in coming to the shipping industry, what do I have to do to be there? Like my school, we don't have this. Maybe if you're in science class, you must do a customized subject. Okay, you have the freedom to take subjects across the departments. So if any of them are willing or interested in going to the shipping, the maritime process, or what I want to ask is, apart from geography, which I know is one of the important subjects, which other subjects can they fit in or can they do to help them move towards that path?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I think apart from English and Maths, every other subject can lead you into our trade. But if you're going into the engineering courses, of course, you'll be thinking of the science courses. Like when Mr. Gade was showing us about the engineering part of what we do. There's someone that's going to design the engine of the ship. That's those in design, engine drawing and all that. It will be core science courses that will lead into engineering. But if you're coming into freight forwarding, custom brokerage, haulage, it will just be English and Maths and any other subjects. That's how it is. Ma, please, did he answer your question? You don't seem very satisfied. Please, you can rephrase it and I'll answer, so that our students will take home something. Okay.
All right, this is how it's going to be all for this section. Ladies and gentlemen, without waste much of a time, put your hands together.
Sorry, someone has a question. Please.
We have a question. That's going to be the last question.
So excuse me, I wanted to ask, in Nigeria today, there is actually problem with the administration of oil rigs in our country, like in the Niger, where there are oil spills on the water. Is there any precautions or any possible regulations that are being taken into place to monitor these oil spills and prevent them from affecting the marine life in the ocean?
Okay, thank you very much. You want to know what government is doing to prevent pollution and how that shouldn't affect aquatic life, right? Yes, there are quite a lot of regulations ongoing regarding oil spill, and I think what's this? Yeah, beyond nature, there's this body in shipping that manages spill, and with Norma Paul, the other one. Okay, so there is a body, there are several bodies. There's NISRA, there's another body that is international that regulates pollutions on sea, MAPOL. There's also another body that regulates spillage. And once there's any spill and it gets into the waters, it becomes it's actually a global issue. It's a global issue. So there are a lot of regulations on that. Sometimes it happens and then they take it off, they start cleaning up the water. So there are a lot of regulations guiding against spillage into not only oil spillage, even when you eat your biscuit and you drop it, and then wind blows it into the drainage, and the drainage washes it into the sea. It's actually a regulation, but the issue that the government cannot catch us. So now we are the one that will catch ourselves and make sure that we trash our waste properly. Thank you very much. Did I answer your question? All right, thank you.
All right. Let's jump our hands together. That's all good. The supply chain and
Thank you very much, sir.
a career for the GIRLCHILD.